What's up, everybody? This is my 2024 Rocket Mortgage betting preview, first look, breakdown, keys, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be just me kind of diving into what I feel is important at this golf course and things that past champions have done well, haven't done well, how it correlates to the course, what statistics I think are important for this week. So, just starting off, a couple past winners of this golf course. Last year, obviously, Ricky bounced back and he got his first win on tour in many years. So that was it was fun to watch. It was something that was pretty cool. A long time. I liked Ricky since I was a kid, or not a kid, but younger adult. So it's pretty cool to see other past champions. We have Finau, Cam Davis, Bryson DeChambeau, Nate Lashley. This golf course is probably one of the least penile golf courses on the PGA Tour. It's also one of the easiest. Tony Finau, Cam Davis, Bryson, they all hit it a mile. Honestly, Ricky's been hitting it a mile. Driving distance, super important this week. If we go down here and we look, by the way, I'm using a website, Bet the Number. It's the website that I use for all of my research. If you want to check it out yourself, it's just betthenumbergolf.com. They do a free trial. You check it out. If you want to do your own handicapping, you want to look at stuff yourself. This is just going to be a breakdown of how I go through things. Driving is very important this week. Bomber's Paradise, it's going to be very important this week that you get distance off the tee. When we saw Bryson win here a couple years ago, even Tony and Cam, they were just kind of pushing it up as far as they can and having wedges into greens. It didn't really matter if they're in the thick stuff or not. There really isn't a lot of penalty on this golf course. So, you see you have a short penalty here as well as a bomber opportunity here. 2.6 strokes per round if, longer than 20 yards on average. So, it's going to be really important to hit the ball far this week. Short hitters, not saying they can't win, but definitely going to be a lot harder. They're going to have to do it different ways than some of the other guys. Also, you have your approach game. You have a lot of shots coming from about 50 yards, 175 in, 11 and a half shots roughly around coming from those distances on approach, and then you got a few coming from longer. These are mostly going to be your par fives, though. There are 4 par fives on this golf course, so most of these shots are coming from par fives, at least 4 of them. So don't really factor that in too much. You look at par 5 scoring for those kind of things. You look at these approach numbers here are going to be very important this week. Putting, super important. It's a birdie fest. You got to make birdies. It's simple as that. We gotta figure out a way to get the ball in the hole once you get on the green, and so there is going to be a big bump to the good putters this week. You got to make putts. So around the green play is not too important this week. If you look at the past winners, yeah, they've done well, but it wasn't substantial. It's mostly getting done with the putter and the approach play. These statistics are a little skewed because they're not very accurate, so they're going to factor in the inaccurate drives. But they all are driving distance related. But around the green, not too important. It is around the green important when you get the par 5s, you get up there, push it up there, par 5s, and try to make a birdie from 30 yards, 40 yards and in. It's going to be pretty important this week. So par 5 scoring very far down. You have 4 par 5s on this golf course. So what I do generally is I try to figure out what the golf course requires. And then I create a custom model. So this is my custom model I created for this week. All right, I'm going to go through pretty much why I feel these key statistics are pretty important. I did do this one based on the last 36 rounds. I do play with this sometimes. I'll drop it down to 24. Sometimes I do 36. I like to see what the model produces. Maybe sometimes I'll even drop it down to 12. I want to see some recency. And I can adjust certain things for 24, like putting, 36 for putting for longer term results. But this week, driving distance, ball speed, I think will be very important. Gonna have to hit it far. Gonna have to get it a wedge in your hand. It's gonna need to be a lot of scoring. Obviously, we already kind of went over approach to the green. They are going to have a lot of shots out of the rough this week, as we see. If we go back to the course, it might take a second to load, but they're going to be hitting wedges from the rough. They don't really care if they're in the rough. A lot of the times on this golf course, there's not much penalty for being in the rough. You know, if you look at this here, you'll see this purple thing here. Pretty decent amount of shots coming from the rough, almost 3 shots around. So I do factor that in as being a little bit of important. I want birdies from the rough. It's pretty important. Going for the green, birdie or better is very important too, in my opinion. You know, you gotta make birdies on par fives, and that's kind of correlates to the scrambling as well. The inside 30 yards, if they are hitting a 3-wood up near the green, I want guys that can make birdies inside 30 yards. It's a little more knock on birdie or better percentage. This is just an overall percentage of making birdies. And same here as birdie average. It's just so important to score this week. The winning score could be 26, 27 under. I mean, it's going to be a birdie fest. If we go back to previous winners, let's go to the tournament. I mean, we can go ahead and take a look at what they got to last year. Let me see here. Rocket Mortgage 2023. 24 under. You know, if you go down to 2022, we can take a look at that. Where's the Rocket Mortgage? Here we are. 2022 Rocket Mortgage winning score, I believe, was really low as well. Gonna load. Let's see if we go back here for a second. Par 5 scoring, 4 par 5s on this golf course. You need birdies. So definitely want to be taking advantage of those par 5s when they do come up. Putting from 5 to 15 feet is where a lot of your birdies are going to come from. If you're hitting it inside those metrics, we want the guys that are going to be doing pretty well inside those ranges. 26 under won it in 2022. So yeah, you're going to have to make a lot of birdies to make any sort of noise here at this tournament. So par 5 scoring, just another scoring statistic. Honestly, just kind of have to keep that in mind. I know it sounds like it's just kind of stacking it on, and maybe it doesn't matter. I think it does. I think just adding in the different weights on different categories kind of gives you the guys that score well generally on any type of course. Stroke and putting is a little interesting. We are petting on bent and POA grass this week, so I did factor that in when you go to filter to the course. Oops, that's the wrong thing. We'll go back down to here. That's stroke team total. We want this here. Stroke team putting, I did factor it into. Oh, maybe I didn't. Let's update that actually. Bent POA. We are on bent POA this week. And then stroke gain total per round. I always add this in for a small percent. Not because I feel like it matters, but because in some courses it does. But this course, I just kind of like to see how they've performed in the past year. I weight it really small. Just honestly, it's because I'm lazy. I don't want to tab out and look at recent results. So you can take that with a grain of salt. Let's apply this. I did change the. Why didn't it save? Bent POA. Apply. I think it did apply. It's just not showing up. That's fine. All right. So, so this is the model. This is it. This is what I like to look at. I know it may look confusing if you're new to golf betting, but I don't base all of my decisions on this. Okay, this is a very good look at what is important for this specific golf course. It's not a copy paste. It is not something where this is going to perform. This is going to be an exact result of what the tournament's going to look like, because it's not. All right. A lot of other factors come in. Recency, performance. For example, Tom Kim's played 9 tournaments in a row. He's not long distance off the tee, but he is showing up pretty well in the model. He's 3rd in the model. It's because he's pretty good in every other category. But there's other factors that factor into my decision. It's not solely based on this model. I like to use this model just to get a good idea from an analytical standpoint who's the best players for this golf course. So Taylor Pendrith grading out pretty well. All right. I actually liked him for this golf course. He's played here well before. I believe he's had a top 10 in the past, as well as maybe another top 20 in his first 2 times here. Grades out pretty well for this model. So, looking at guys that kind of surprise you, that might be up here. Maybe Keith Mitchell. The only problem with Keith Mitchell is strokes gained putting. I mean, he's just got to make putts, man. He's good everywhere else, but the putter's broken. It's always a problem, but maybe he gets hot one week. Maybe he figures it out. But he has never played this golf course either, so not real confident. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to add in some salt, grain of salt, for some of these results, because it's not exactly going to be what the model produces. Some interesting picks that I might like. I haven't made any bets this week. All right, I haven't touched any sort of bets at all. If you look at my spreadsheet, I haven't put anything in. I will be putting bets in my Discord as we get closer to the week. I get more confident in certain picks, and I start to figure out what I like and what I dislike. Some interesting looks. Akshay's been really hot, but he's another guy. He's played a lot of golf tournaments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it'll be 7 tournament in a row. Young guy, he should be able to handle it, but we'll see. Chris Gotterup this week. I think he's a great pick. His irons have been getting a little bit better, but he grades out well in every other category for this course. Ball speed, obviously, top on tour. Driving accuracy, not so good, but doesn't matter at this golf course. So, little concerning right here. He lost massive strokes on approach, but a similar comp golf course would be Myrtle Beach. Seemed to do pretty well there. A lot of these other golf courses, PGA Championship, Charles Schwab, Memorial, honestly, if he was inaccurate off the tee, his approach game kind of took a hit because of that. So I don't really, weigh too much into it. He did really well last week, but he still kind of sprayed it around. So I do like Chris Gotterup this week. But there's a lot of other things on here. Like I said, this is just my first look. Something I feel is important for the golf course. I haven't made any sort of decisions yet. But it is something that I do every single week to get a good idea of where I am at as far as my mental process of the golf course tournament coming up this week. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe. I will be coming out with maybe I'll do another video of my betting slate for the week. Depends. I definitely will be putting my picks in the Discord, where you can join the Discord below. I will put the link, and I appreciate if you like and comment and subscribe, whatever your heart desires. It helps me out, and I appreciate the support. Thank you.